Hey everyone, welcome to Moving Matt. We do all things cameras with a dash of vlogs and a little bit of travel. And today Canon registered two new cameras, so let's talk about what they could be and when they could be coming. So first off, I'm going to read the registration for these two cameras. Now this part seems maybe a little bit boring, but it is important and I'll let you know why later. The first one is DS126841. And the second one is DS126842. So the reason why this is important to read off is because since they just have one number difference, the 41 and the 42, it means that they are probably closely related to each other. And Canon rumors even said that it's possible that it could just be even a color change. So maybe this is actually one camera with two different colors. I don't exactly think so, but that is a possibility. So Canon rumors also said that this is not an EOS M line, but an interchangeable lens camera. And they also thought that this probably isn't going to be coming out this year, and it's going to be coming out in maybe January of next year or sometime in the first quarter of next year. Personally, I'm not exactly sure if I agree with that sentiment. A lot of times when we see a camera being registered, we hear about it within the next 6 weeks. So for them to say that it's going to be maybe January, I'm not exactly sure. One of the options that I find most interesting, and if this is the option, then I think it would be coming sooner rather than later. So it is possible that it's going to be a Canon EOS RP Mark II. So we've been hearing for a while now that an RP Mark II was coming, or at least something that is going to sit in the price range of the RP right now. We actually even heard that it's possibly going to be even cheaper. So I'm not sure what they're going to do to make it cheaper, but I'm excited to see what that is. Also, it's possible that maybe the second camera could be a follow-up to the EOS R. So I know initially they're saying that the EOS R is a standalone as well as the RP being a standalone. So maybe it will not have that naming convention, but we have heard that there's going to be a camera that comes and sets between this new RP and the R6. So basically where the R sits right now. What do I think could be in that camera that would make it worth it? Well, I think that they would probably just go with a 4K 30, and they would do 4K 30 without a crop. I don't know if it would be 10-bit. I highly doubt 4K 60, considering that we have the R6 doing the 4K 60, but maybe just a 4K 30, no crop, and 1080p 120 frames per second. That could be very exciting for a lot of people, and I think that is a possibility to replace what the R is right now. And I think if it's somewhere around like the 15 to 1800 mark, to have a camera like that, I think would be very popular for a lot of people. So I think these two cameras are prime candidates for what could be coming. And if these are the two cameras that have been registered, I do not think they're going to be coming next year. I would foresee them coming maybe within the next 6 weeks or so because of that holiday season. And I think that Canon would want to be able to capitalize on the fact that Christmas is right around the corner. And I think having a budget-friendly and a mid-tier camera upgrade could be a very smart thing for Canon to have at the holiday season. But these two cameras aren't the only candidates we have. We also heard about two cinema cameras that were supposed to be coming out at NAB 2021, even though that NAB 2021 got delayed. We heard about two new cinema cameras coming. Actually, we heard about three, but two actually makes sense for the way these are numbered out. And one of those was the C300S and the C500S. Essentially, these were the same cameras, except the C500S was going to be a full frame version of the C300S. It was going to have an extra stop of dynamic range. And these two cameras are possibly it, but for some reason, most people aren't guessing these cinema cameras, even though the timeline lines up. So I'm not sure if there's something about the numbers or the letter designation in front of the number that makes it not a cinema camera. But since the timelines do match up, I thought that I would throw those in as a possibility as well. Now, going out further, if this is going to be a January camera or maybe an early 2022 camera, it is possible that it is the R5C. The R5C is the new cinema style R5 camera. Think the FX3 to the Sony a7S III. So it's supposed to have a fan, have a little bit different ergonomics for video, as well as have the new digital hot shoe so you can add XLR audio inputs. I also think they will be getting rid of the record limits, and it shouldn't have much problem with overheating with that fan. So if that is one of the cameras, then what would be the other camera? So is it possible, if it's going to be an R5C, that they're also going to be releasing the maybe high megapixel R5 as well? So they'll be kind of releasing those simultaneously for the people who are maybe landscape photographers or, you know, high-end portrait photographers. So I think it's possible they're going to be releasing the cinema style R5C alongside the high resolution R5, whatever they're going to call that. So that makes a lot of sense to me to market it that way. So hey, if you want the video features primarily from the R5, here you got this camera. And if you want that crazy, maybe a 90 megapixel or 100 megapixel, whatever they're going to put in it, high resolution camera, I think that that is an option as well, and it would make sense with these two different numbers. And the final two options for these cameras, I won't spend a lot of time on it, but it is possible that it's going to be a Canon APS-C style camera like the R7, and then maybe a budget friendly APS-C camera as well. Now, it doesn't quite make as much sense to me because we have heard recent rumors that there is going to be an APS-C camera, but it's supposed to be coming out in the second half of next year, so I'm not sure why they'd be registering them now. So I'm inclined to think that it's probably going to be not those options, and it's probably more likely the other options that I mentioned before. I actually made a whole video about the APS-Cs possibly coming to the RF mount, but then this news happened, so I figured I'd cover that. So I don't know if I'm just gonna scrap that video idea or if I'll actually post it later in the week. But if you'd like to stick around and see if I post that video, or if you like all things camera news and rumors, be sure to consider subscribing. And if you've liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And until next time, peace.